Hello, my name is Dr. Susan Shapiro, and I'd like to welcome you to EDSN 626, Patterns in Parenting and Childcare in Relation to Early Childhood Education and Early Intervention. So the point of this class is to give you a sense of building that bridge from the classroom to the family. And one of the ways that we do that is by understanding difference and culture, and starting to understand that maybe not everyone's like us. And if they're not, how do we understand them? How do we build that bridge? How do we partner with that family for the success of the child? This is extremely important when we're talking about children with disabilities. It's also just extremely important in general. We want to build a community when we're in our schools. And hopefully through the work that you do in this classroom, you will start getting those blocks to be able to build that bridge between home and school. So this class is going to ask you to be introspective, to look at your experiences as a teacher, maybe as a parent, and as a student. When you were a kid, what was it like for you? And so there's going to be a lot of looking back and thinking deeply in this classroom. And hopefully by doing that, we'll begin to build that bridge, and we'll look at the world compassionately and look at our families in our classroom, not just as the parents of our students, or sometimes as the enemy, because they can be a little bit scary when we don't understand them, but as partners in educating their children. So this class has a lot of different assignments in it. Week to week, you'll go into the modules and you're going to see these kind of things, which is a required lecture. And I hopefully will be tying those readings together and the videos and some of the assignments so that you can think about it in a more homogenized way. There will be discussion boards. There will be opportunities for you to do some teaching where your peers can see what you're thinking of and how you're working. There's going to be 3 main assignments in this class. The first is going to be a cultural self-assessment. So for that, you're going to be thinking about your own culture and your own background, and maybe your thoughts and feelings on disability and family. And you're going to be looking at another family as well, who's different from you, who has a different culture. You're going to start to think about a different culture and really explore that in terms of their feeling towards families, towards culture, and towards disability. The next thing that we're going to be doing is building a culturally relevant lesson plan. Well, most of the time when we think about diversity in lesson planning, we jump right to those holidays. So a lot of times people will say, I covered diversity. I did Kwanzaa, or I did Hanukkah, or I did Ramadan. But in actual fact, those holidays don't really cover it. We need to go a little bit more in depth. Another way that people like to cover it is through food. I serve tacos in my classroom, or I did a dish from the Middle East. Well, instead of doing that, we're going to ask you to take a deeper look. And you're going to start to get those ideas of how to do that through the cultural self-assessment. Now, the final project that we'll be doing in this class is an IFSP, an Individualized Family Service Plan. Now that's different from an IEP, which really takes place in school. The purpose of the IFSP is to understand families' needs and to meet them with their goals and their challenges. So the whole purpose of this class is for you to think about different cultures, different types of families, and start to see how you can empathize with them, how you can feel compassion for them, and how they can become partners in this school to home relationship. So I hope you enjoy the class. I really hope that you can give yourself a deep think in this class and really take the time and see how important this is for you being a successful educator and really growing as a human being. So let's get started. Because this is an online class, one of the challenges is to create a community of learners. And one of the ways that we work to create this community is through an online discussion board. So a lot of the discussion boards are going to be the type that you're used to. You're going to see a prompt and you're going to write a response and then write a response to your classmates. But some of these are going to be online video discussion boards where you get a chance to talk to the other people in your class. They get a chance to see you and verbally respond as well. So it's a really nice way to start to create community and for you to start to learn from each other. I also respond via video as well. Some of you might find this a bit challenging at first, but I assure you, just keep going with it. There'll be some instructions on how to do it. And after a while, it'll just be a natural, fun thing to do. I'm going to ask you not to upload links, so please try to use the Record in Canvas option. If you have problems with this, please be sure to contact Canvas support. They are terrific. Now, not only are we going to be doing discussion boards this way, we're also going to be doing discussions and sample lessons when we do weekly responses. So sometimes when you have those weekly homework responses, you'll be writing papers. And sometimes you'll be doing different things via video. Some of those may be teaching a lesson or getting a chance to talk to each other about ideas. Now, because we're working hard to create a community of learners, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you follow the rubrics. They're going to be very clear about how often you should post, how you should post. I'm also going to be very clear about the closing dates of all of the discussion boards and homework. Discussion boards will close on the day that they are due because the discussion's over. There's nothing more to add. For homework assignments, you may get a little bit more time, but please, especially on the video components of these, please try to post when required and as often as possible so you can be part of this community. One of the things that's going to be important in this class is that you submit all original work. So plagiarism is a no-no in this class. Take a look at the video in Module 0 or Module 1 in the plagiarism quiz to find out what plagiarizing means. But I'll tell you what it means. There is no submission of anything that you found on a website or you found in somebody else's work or on any site that might generate a paper for you. One of the ways that you can be sure that you're correctly quoting and using APA format, which is a great way to avoid plagiarism, is by the Turnitin app that's associated and turned on in everything you submit via Canvas. If there's an issue with plagiarism, a red flag will come up letting you know that you've plagiarized. Just so you know, if that red flag does come up, you will not only fail the assignment, but you will fail the entire course, no questions asked. So it's extremely serious in this class and in every other class that all of the work, lesson plans, responses, everything is done only for this class, no other. My aim as a professor is for you to be successful. Not just in this class, but successful in the field. And I want you to learn something in this class. The feedback that I give you usually is in-depth and lets you know how you're doing in the class. I try to be transparent when I'm grading, so there are rubrics attached to every assignment that you will receive. Make sure you follow these rubrics, as well as the prompts on each one of the assignments. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I can be reached at susan.shapiro16@touro.edu. I also am happy to set up a Zoom meeting, which is an online meeting done in real time, where we can share screens and I can discuss any issues you may have. Please know that if you are not able to submit your assignments in on time, there will be a second due date listed, which is the absolute closing date. You will not be allowed to turn in any assignment after that date is closed. But you should be submitting all of your assignments by the required due dates. You will lose points for each day that your assignment's not turned in. So please make sure you post your assignments in on time. and follow that rubric.